elegant 900-meter steel arch suspended firmly above the Zambezi River, commanding attention from the air. The iconic Kazungula Bridge stands out against the landscape as both an engineering landmark and a symbol of resolve. The structure rises with precision and permanency, unmistakable in form and purpose. Positioned at one of the world's rare geographical quadrupoint junctions where Zambia, Botswana, Namibia and Zimbabwe converge within meters of one another, the bridge occupies a uniquely strategic space on the continent. It does more than connect two riverbanks. It consolidates regional corridors, anchors the north-south trade route, and transforms geography into opportunity. Heavy commercial traffic now moves steadily across its deck, replacing the once slow, risky, and uncertain pontoon crossings with efficiency, safety, and scale. On a rainy Tuesday morning, February 24, 2026, President Hakainde Hichilema lands at Kasane International Airport to perform a critical task: the official launch of the Kazungula Bridge Authority jointly with his Botswana counterpart, President Duma Gideon Boko. He is received by Botswana's Minister of International Relations, Fenyo Wutale, while Zambia's Minister of Home Affairs, Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs then, Jack Mwimbo, and Infrastructure Minister, Charles Milupi, join in the formal welcome. Women in vibrant traditional attire perform rhythmic dances in the rain, symbolizing the warmth of Kasane and the shared heritage between the two nations. President Hichilema joins the group in dance, a gesture of unity and togetherness. From the airport, President Hichilema proceeds to Cresta Moan Resort to meet President Boko before traveling together through Kasane town in Chove district to the old pontoon landing bay beneath the bridge, the venue for the launch. The two heads of state walk side by side into the main pavilion, a visual declaration of sovereign cooperation and strategic partnership. Trade anchors their deliberations. Both emphasize that the bridge signals a new era of international regional commerce, reinforcing the actualization of the African Continental Free Trade Area.
We must contextualize that this asset is not only ours, it's an asset that belongs to many. And I think the world, if I may say. So we need to be broader in the way Kazungula Bridge Authority first is conceived. I think the framework is fine, but how we run it so that it benefits, draws value. Minister Midupi there was whispering to me that this is now the preferred route, Mr. President, for the countries in the north. This, of the many border posts we have on the southern side, this is the preferred route. So we expect the board management to take that into account and have a continuous improvement program investing in this bridge, this asset, so that that premier status it has acquired already can be grown and grown.
The Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement impels all of us. It imposes an obligation on every leader, every citizen of every African country to raise the level and volume of intra-Africa trade. We need to reorganize ourselves and our infrastructure to create links and connections between our countries. The better for us to then be able to move goods across our continent seamlessly, efficiently, viably.
President Hichilema underscores that infrastructure must deliver measurable economic results, driving efficiency, lowering the cost of doing business, and strengthening competitiveness for citizens and industry alike.
We cannot be talking of, every time we talk about investment, we are talking about us in Botswana, in Zambia, looking at east or west. We now want to add in the checklist of instructions, we want to see more joint investments between Botswana and Zambians, so we can produce goods to carry through this bridge. The factories must be owned by us, where our capital levels are short, equity or debt, of course debt at a fair price. We must go to others after having come together. You get my point? This is to move goods, but we want you to produce the goods that move through this bridge. Many sectors, agriculture. We added the energy sector, our interconnector, our joint railway project. You see the design of this bridge. You've all seen it, isn't it? Investments, money must work for us. This is a disease, Mr. President, we need to heal here. As Africa, for us to take the leadership, we have to do the basic things first. Fully utilize the endowments that we have, such as the provision of a rail line. So let it continue southwards and northwards. On the north side here, very easy to connect it to Zambia Railways network. Kazungula across, Livingstone, bang. In fact, we have a Katima Mulilo rail line, but really the link is this side. Therefore, this corridor, already taking prominence, can derive more value for Botswana, for Zambia. And Mr. President, the youthful population you talked about can have the opportunities that they're yearning for by us deliberately taking these decisions. Mutwile sichaba? Mutwile? Mwautwa? I think this is the story. That's why we're here, to remind each other. But we're saying we will continue adding on the checklist of things that you need to do. But we are conscious, my brother and I are conscious that there are things we are not aware of. That's why we are asking our cabinet colleagues on both sides, permanent secretaries, officials, technical, and others, and the private sector to add on to that checklist we have. Say what else you want done so that this asset can yield more returns. You got me. As you go back, have a sit down in Botswana, in Zambia. Then virtual meetings. If you want to walk across, if you want a meeting at the middle of the river there, you should hold it on the bridge or on the boat.
He envisions joint industrialization and tourism development across Zambia and Botswana, leveraging the shared natural heritage of the Zambezi and Chove rivers. President Hichilema notes that the benefits go beyond the two nations as they extend across the SADC region, and makes a clarion call to traditional leaders to provide land for tourism development around the bridge.
Mr. President, we are conceptualizing as a tourist product here with this iconic bridge that we will have floating restaurants. We talked about floating restaurants here. And people can sit and eat. That's the kind of vision. Traditional leaders, Mulenak, Amrufe land around here so we can do more developments, such as broadening the tourism products in this area. Not just for the two countries, but for the 4 countries and others. We want occupancies to improve around here in the lodges. But to do that, we need minimum standards. I think that's what the Kazungula River Authority is supposed to be doing. Minimum standards for developments around this area. Not second fiddle, but the best rate investments, best grade, so that we can attract traffic. Mr. President, nothing stops our tourism organizations to refine, to devise, refine a multi-country product. Tourist starts off from Botswana, Chove, Okavango, ends up at the Victoria Falls in Zambia and the Kafue National Park, and vice versa, and across Namibia, Zimbabwe. This is your challenge now. We're doing our part. Do your part. Let's enhance the value around here. Tourism, agriculture, processing. Talk to our bilateral relationship. Talk to SADC, talk to AU, Africa Continental Free Trade Area. That cannot exist in the air. The laws of nature does not allow things to exist in a hanging situation. They have to be anchored. The enhancement of trade in this SADC region and on the African continent have to be anchored. They can't hang. These are the anchors. These are the portals. This bridge is the anchor to deepening and realizing the Africa Free Trade Area, Continental Free Trade Area. Simple, straight. Let's utilize this asset.
President Boko calls for innovation and decisive action among African countries, urging the continent to maximize value from its resource endowments and move beyond the export of raw materials.
We cut minerals away in the raw. It is now time for Africa to process its own minerals, to beneficiate, to harness the talent and the energies of our people and produce and power the real economy. The real economy is where goods and services are produced.
The two heads of state agree to transition from a one-stop border post to a non-stop border system, leveraging digital technologies to accelerate clearance and enhance trade facilitation.
This border will now operate 24 hours. We are moving rapidly in the direction of a non-stop border post. That is where we are heading. It will require of us the deployment of appropriate technologies. And on this note, I am aware that the Botswana Stock Exchange is well advanced in bringing about technology that will enable this non-stop border.
A non-stop border post, Mr. President. Technology, as you said, allows us to do that. Single window, you're parking both sorts at the factory. Not sure the nearest salt factory here in Botswana. You are parking there for a truck destined for the copper belt. And the customer on the copper belt is viewing the parking together with the customs officials in Botswana and Zambia. They are all viewing, because of digital platform, under what we call a single window, isn't it? We need to see a situation where no truck goes north loaded and comes back south empty. We want to see return loads, so we can grow the turnovers of what we do with each other at a bilateral level, but in the region and beyond. Efficiencies, which will help lower the costs per unit of whatever we carry. That is what we would like to see, colleagues. And who leads in that area is the business community seated here. The two governments will facilitate. We will do what you tell us, that what slows you from achieving those numbers. You take both salt to Zambia, you come back with stock feed from Zambia.
Implementation now rests with technical leadership. Zambia's Infrastructure Minister, Charles Milupi, and Botswana's Minister of Transport and Infrastructure, Noah Salake, highlight the bridge's strategic importance and pledge to ensure the effective operations of the Kazungula Bridge Authority.
Today marks an enduring inclination that will see the Kazungula Bridge Authority transform into a global master-class institution and become the groundwork for long-term prosperity that will see the economies of our two great nations grow and thrive at home, as well as expand beyond our borders to promote the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement in its prominence and distinction. I must admit, Director of Ceremonies, that it is such a rare honor in one's life to live to witness a transformation of this magnitude. The Kazungula Bridge stands not only as a physical link between our two countries, but also as a key component of the North-South Corridor, a vital trade route within the SADC region, and an important conduit for regional integration and economic development, benefiting countries such as Democratic Republic of Congo, Malawi.
With the Kazungula Bridge Authority in place, this investment will further enhance, sustain, and improve the efficiency of the operations of the border. This will result in increased trade and traffic volumes. The operational efficiency of the border will be further enhanced by the Kazungula Bridge Authority, in that we intend to quickly move from a one-stop border post to a non-stop border post by leveraging technology. This is the vision given to us by you, Your Excellencies. Your Excellencies, the Kazungula Bridge is a masterpiece of infrastructure that stands out to be Africa's newest super bridge. It is not just a marvel, but a benchmark for the region and the continent as a whole. Your Excellencies, the governments of the two republics directed that in addition to facilitating trade and enhancing regional integration, the area around the bridge and the border infrastructure must be transformed into a world-class tourism destination. In this regard, the Kazungula Bridge Authority has been directed to take advantage of the unique location of the Kazungula Bridge as the only place in the entire world where natural boundaries of four countries meet. This is a phenomenon which, in addition to the iconic bridge infrastructure, is poised to be a catalyst for tourism. And as an authority, we shall endeavor to work towards the transformation of the world's only quadric point into a world-class tourism center to realize its full potential.
Local leaders reflect on the opportunities created by the bridge, but request for reduced costs of moving goods across the two borders.
This bridge stands as a powerful union between the two countries. It is a symbol of shared vision, cooperation, commitment, and friendship. It connects not only land but people, cultures, and opportunities. The bridge has also created more employment opportunities for our people, promote trade, and also improved the lives of our citizens. Even though we are grateful for this bridge, we are not happy about the charges that we are required to make when we cross over using our private vehicle from the Zambian side. The lifts are too high for any ordinary person. As we celebrate this milestone, I therefore request my Honorable President to look into these charges so that traveling can be more affordable for us. May this bridge serve as a lasting reminder that progress is built through partnership, trust, and unity. Once again,
Botswana's Chobe Member of Parliament, Semasi Kumapulanga, recalls how this crossing connected communities long before borders were drawn, grounding modern integration in shared history.
Long before borders were drawn on maps, the Zambezi River did not divide us. It connected us, it connected our ancestors. Our ancestors crossed freely between the southern and the northern part of the river that we are seeing today. To trade, to visit relatives, to fish, and even to herd cattle. They had life. Why don't we have life today? Kazungula was a meeting point. It wasn't a boundary or even a border. It was a meeting point for people to barter trade. You know, Africans used to barter trade, value for value. You bring your sack of maize, I bring you a beast, value for value. This is where Africa should be forcefully looking at. I bring, Mr. President, you mentioned a truck of salt. I come back with feeds. That is value for value.
As structured trade systems align with the physical infrastructure, the two presidents witnessed the signing of the Allied Commodities Exchange and ICTA's Head of Terms, reinforcing commercial cooperation around the bridge corridor.
We have signed today a memorandum of understanding where we can have an Allied Commodity Exchange platform where Zambia, Botswana will bring their commodities in one place. What Zambia needs, what Botswana needs, we can exchange through that platform. And this is not only a platform where the two countries will exchange commodities, will sell commodities, will give each other market platforms, but it is also a place where the region will see the opportunities that lie in Zambia, that lie in Botswana. So this also gives an opportunity for our SMEs, including multinationals or corporate entities that are doing business in the country, to have a transparent and definite business access, or should I say definite market that is available in Botswana. You see today countries do put trade barriers on each other, but this one will overcome it, because now we have gone into a phase where terms of reference for business are going to be done. So I was privileged to sign this on behalf of the country through on behalf of the Minister of Finance. So now a structured way of doing business between Zambia and Botswana has been established, where our commodities will be sold to Botswana through this commodity exchange. Botswana's commodities will be sold to Zambia through a commodity exchange. And if the market has been saturated by the two countries, it's a platform we will use to reach regional market.
Zambia and Botswana are proving that strategic infrastructure investments are a powerful catalyst driving faster trade, deeper partnerships, and shared prosperity across the region.